So hello, welcome to my video where we have a look at some infrared photography, and for a change it might be a little bit paranormal because I found in the street this doll who's going to be the model for this experiment. A little bit dirty, needs washing maybe, but I think that maybe adds to the atmosphere. So she's going to be modeling in an infrared lighting scenario with some various cameras, watching what happens in the dark when I can't see anything for about an hour or so. Just to prove that time is non-linear, I'm actually recording this introduction after I did the experiment, and then a little bit later I'll look at the results and present those at the end of the video. So what I'm going to be using is various cameras. This is a trail camera which is infrared, motion triggered, and it has its own infrared illuminator with sticky tape on because it was a bit too bright, just to monitor what that doll does in the dark, plus two other cameras you'll see later which will also be recording motion triggered pictures, plus another camera. So that's four infrared cameras looking from different angles. So let's see what actually gets picked up. Not only images but also sound. Here's a Panasonic dictation machine, rather old style these days. Everybody has these built into their mobile phone now if you ever needed one, but these are interesting because they produce quite a lot of noise, and maybe the noise will pick up some extra sounds that weren't audible to the human ear. Let's hope. This is a Panasonic QR-160. It's not the DR60 because I can't afford that, even though it's probably quite similar. So let's see what gets picked up. So today's experiment is with infrared cameras, and we're going to be seeing what we can record in the dark, and maybe it gets a bit spooky, who knows. There's this is one infrared camera. It's actually a security camera, very old, connected via Ethernet. Here's our model sitting in front of a black curtain. This is another camera. It's called a trail camera. It's going to take one picture, actually three pictures. You can see the infrared light flashing using this camera I'm using here, and it's going to take those three pictures every 5 seconds. And then over here we've got another one of those cameras that's monitoring what's going on, and underneath another infrared camera with infrared lamps on. That's the only lamps I'm going to be using to illuminate the scene. That's a Raspberry Pi microcomputer with an infrared camera. And then here's the control station. We've got two computers. This one's showing the Raspberry Pi camera. The lights are still on in the room, normal lighting. This is not infrared. And there you can see it's flashing its infrared camera as it takes a still image. And on the other monitor, there are the two cameras which are connected via Ethernet. And you can see the different views and different angles. The images are in color at the moment because they haven't switched to night mode yet, because the room lighting is turned on. So what I'm going to do is turn off the room lighting so that it becomes dark, and close this door. So now the room is quite dark, and there are the displays. What I can do is just check what I've got in terms of infrared illumination using this camera, which is a modified compact camera with a infrared pass filter on the front, and the infrared blocking filter has been taken off the sensor, so this only records infrared, no visible light. So if I pointed at the computer screens, you can see that it picks up very little because those screens give off very little infrared light. You can see there's more infrared behind the screen coming from the infrared camera illuminator. So there really is an infrared only camera in my hand here. And there you can see the illumination. It looks very bright coming from that Raspberry Pi infrared camera. And here's the model sitting in the dark. Maybe we'll catch the flashes from the trail camera as it takes a still image. Maybe we won't. Perhaps that's not going to happen. there we are. There's the 3 flashes of infrared light, which I can't see. It's not visible to the naked eye. It's only visible using this special infrared camera in my hand. So the plan is to watch these 2 monitors and see what happens. If anything unusual appears in the live video feed, there is motion triggering as well. So if anything moves or changes, then still images are taken as well and stored on a network storage server. This is probably the most interesting view because it's also live video and you can see the flashes better coming from the trail camera. So I'm going to leave this set up for a while, running, and let's see what gets recorded. Whilst we're waiting for something to happen, I'm just going to have a look at what else I can use, which are these 2 cameras here. That's the one that records infrared only that we saw a few moments ago. This one is a relatively normal camera inside, except on the outside I've attached a diffraction grating. You can see it glowing like a rainbow there, reflecting the lights in the room. And this is useful because it splits the spectrum of incoming light into different colors, which are then spatially separated from each other so that you can see perhaps more than you might see using a normal camera. So I will take some pictures using that. And also, in case our model wants to say anything or anybody wants to say anything, this is a rather old audio recorder, dictation machine, Panasonic RR-DR60. If I switch it on, it should hopefully record something. Let's play that back. So that seems to work nicely. So I'll leave that close to the model in record mode and see if anything is picked up. We're going to put this just here and it's switched on. So there we are. So I'm going to leave this setup running for a little while. Everything is ready to go. And we will see what gets picked up. Actually, this middle camera seems to be picking up some visual noise which wasn't there before. The rolling bars are just from the screen multiplex with the camera, but you can't see it so well on this camera, but there's some kind of shimmering haziness appearing, which is not visible in the other pictures from the other camera feeds. She looks much older on this camera. I wonder why that is. The experiment has been running for about 20 minutes now, and whilst it's running I took a few pictures with my diffraction grating camera, which produces some rainbow effects from white lights. I had some room lights turned on just to see what's going on. And I don't know if anybody who may be watching this has ever tried to photograph an aura of a person. There's something that would interest me. If you've ever found out anything about this, please get in touch, because I'm hoping to be able to do this, some aura photography. You can see some rainbows around our model here. And there's some strange patterns appearing, not quite sure where those are coming from, especially on the right-hand side. Looks like data or something, who knows. And then the next picture, there's even some kind of modulation occurring in the rainbow pattern. The vertical stripes in the bottom half and the lumps in the top half, I really don't know where that came from. So that's interesting. Maybe somebody's got some explanation they can offer me. And then I decided to take some diffraction grating pictures of my computer monitors. And as you can see, the white light is separated out into layers. But then I noticed something a little bit strange off to one side. And if you look here, I don't know what you see, but when I look, I see something which I think a scientist would say is pareidolia, which is the way that people see faces. In everything they look at, if they stare for long enough, they'll identify faces. I sent this to my friend in Thailand, an expert, because I can see two faces here, and he then drew what he saw, these two rings, and you can see that he's identified the same two faces that I have. So that's double pareidolia in two different people on opposite sides of the planet. I wonder if anybody has any explanation for what this is. And as I said, if you know anything about aura photography, please get in touch as well. Here we are, it's the morning after. I left the cameras running for about an hour. And then the following morning, this morning, I sorted through the pictures. There are quite a few thousand pictures from each camera. So I went through looking for any changes or anything unusual which I could find. And I've collected those in a little folder on this computer so we can look through them, see what happens. So this is one of the infrared cameras. Sorry about the sound quality on this mobile phone, by the way. I realise it's not as good as my real microphone. Anyway, if I just run through the pictures, you can see already down here this little flash that goes on and off. I think that's actually an insect that flew in front of the camera quite closely, so it's out of focus. So that flashing is probably an insect. Probably nothing to do with our doll model. So I'm just going through the photos. You can see the flash from the trail camera illuminating and just looking for anything that changes. And really, those are the infrared pictures. There was nothing much happening apart from the fly and the flashes. These pictures we've already looked at. These are from the diffraction grating camera. I already talked about those earlier on. This is taken by the trail camera. That's actually me standing, and the illumination from the camera looking this way is so bright that you can't actually see very much. So let's click through those. This is the trail camera recording still images of the side of the doll, very close up to see if anything changes there. And you can see the camera moving around a bit. I'm looking to see if during that hour, if the doll moved or if anything came in, out, or anything happened. Here, there's this line that appears and disappears. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like some kind of a shadow, but I don't know how that got there. So there's that. Still clicking through these pictures to see what else appears. And for people who are fans of pareidolia, there's another face there. You can see eyes, nose and the mouth, and then here's the reflection on the stone windowsill where she's sitting. Looks like the mouth is open. But again, that's psychological and that's all imagined. That we've already talked about. This is me setting up the cameras. I'm actually wearing black clothes here, but in infrared illumination and infrared cameras they look less than black, more like white. Oh, what was that? Oh, that's the okay, infrared light flashing. I'm still looking for anything that moves around this doll. This is the light changing a bit. There seems to be some smoke here or something. And again, I don't know if you can see a face in there, but I see a face with eyes, nose and mouth. Pareidolia strikes again. It's amazing what you can see when you're looking for something. And there again, there's something. I leave it to you to decide what that is. And clicking through the pictures. That's it, in fact. So we've been through all of them from different angles. The next thing, of course, is that I will listen to the sound recording and see if anything was picked up there during that 1 hour. Here I am back again. So the last thing to do is to listen to this sound recording, which ran for nearly an hour. I've been through it, and within the first minute, there seems to be, I don't know, you be the judge of it, in the noise. It sounds like a female voice. There was nobody in the room, certainly no one speaking. Maybe it was somebody outside in the street. It's not being picked up around here now. Let me play this on this little voice recorder. See if you can hear that. There. That was me knocking. I think I hear a lady talking, but who knows? Let's stop that. So that sums up the video so far of looking to see what we can see in the dark with infrared cameras and recording sound on old technology to see if we can hear anything unusual in the noise. Let me know if you've tried similar experiments or if you have any explanations or ideas. I'd be interested to hear from you. As I already said, I'm really looking at ways of trying to photograph a human aura and researching what methods there are. And there's not very much information available about this that is actually reproducible. So get in touch. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching, and remember to hit the like button and subscribe, yo dudes, or something. Isn't that right? Okay, bye-bye.